It's me, Josh Hunter. I'm here on the planet Earth, physical Earth. It's the most reasonable Earth, I would suppose. Um, I would like to. Well, I know I've said. Anyway, I'm not gonna justify or explain whatever. Anyway, so this video is not for me, or I mean, it's not like something that I'm not. I don't know. It's not my. Well, maybe it is. I guess. Anyway, I studied a lot of spiritual stuff for a long time, and ultimately, I think I wanted to be some type of a monk or something, but I don't know. I'm not very. I mean, you need to have like brothers or sisters in a monk, or like and I mean a place where like like a spiritual fraternity. And I'm not sure if I have yet met anyone who shares the same standard beliefs that I do. Not that they're like weird or anything. I think they're probably actually kind of boring when you think about it. But in a lot of my studies, a lot of the religions, they always tell you to, turn to God, look to God, always just keep asking God, questions, and just lean on all the gods as if they have nothing better to do than like listen to your fucking troubles. So I'd like to step in here, and this is probably outside of my pay grade, and I think I have enough money to be able to correct this if I've made a mistake. But this is. I would like to see if I can. Hey, dude. Pretty good. Pretty good. Uh, I, I would like to. All right. This is specifically for gods. If God does exist, and if there are gods, meaning super high level beings who are, I guess, not necessarily beyond the comprehension of man, but are so far advanced as to make them godlike in our eyes, and I guess in our ears too. I don't know. For those gods who are able to answer humanity's prayers and requests, but are not able to communicate to them that they are busy, and that maybe you should not be. I know what this looks like, but I'm pretty sure it isn't what it looks like. But let's see. I would like to step in and say, so this is for those gods who are able to answer and answer humanity's prayers and requests, but are not able to communicate that they are busy, and that you probably shouldn't be asking them, or that they would prefer that you don't. Not that there's anything wrong with asking them, but so I would like to. I'm not necessarily speaking on behalf of the gods, but I would like to say to those gods who have been answering a lot of a lot of prayers, a lot of requests, I would like to say, hey, to the people who keep on asking, and just more and more and more. It's like, hey, why don't you guys like try and do this yourself? Okay, why don't you leave the gods alone for a little bit? Okay, you got brains, right? I mean, whatever god you believe in, I suppose has had to have supplied you with a brain, the basic skills and tools that you need to function in your reality. So I'm saying, hey, leave these gods alone. Okay, leave the gods alone and see if you can do it yourself. Just try. Okay, just try. Try to go a little bit. I know some people are like, well, you got to maintain a good relationship with God or the gods, and God wants you to lean upon him or her. Maybe, or maybe there have been very terrible translations. There have been very terrible translations of what gods want or do not want. So on the off chance that these translations have been as poor as I think they have been, I would like to say here, the next time you think of praying or asking God for something, or asking any god for something, just really, 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 really try and see if you can get it yourself. Okay? Sometimes, I mean, I'm saying it's entirely possible that God exists, that gods exist, and they've just had it because maybe they have to answer every request, and maybe it's putting like an undue strain on them. The people who say that they speak for God. You remember, every book about God has come down written by man's hands, man's mouth. Okay, so it's with the exception of what I think. Well, even Joseph Smith. I mean, he had to. He was the one who said it. Okay, now potentially accepting the situation where magic, tablets or whatever appear in the sky that everyone can see and everyone can read, explicitly detailing the will of God and proving without any reasonable or without without any doubt that it is God or the gods saying that we are the creators of all life and this is what we want you to do, and these words appearing magically in the sky or magically in some place where everybody can easily perceive them. Okay, accepting that, it can be assumed that maybe perhaps some of these guys were lying or charlatans or guys who knew how to fucking like manipulate a bunch of people who were desperate. Alright? So you need to know if you are desperate, and you need to know who will try and take advantage of you when you are desperate. So, I would just I want these guys to get a break. The gods, just because they're able to answer your every single prayer and your every request doesn't mean that they don't get tired, doesn't mean they don't want other things to do. I mean, they may have like this type of mentality which says that the only way for them to survive is to answer your requests. And to me, it's kind of inconsiderate to be constantly asking someone for something. You might be saying, Josh, people ask ask you a lot of things too. Don't you think that maybe you're drawing a kind of conceited parallel? Well, I guess the parallel would end where, have I been answering people's prayers? Have I been answering people's requests? Is there even a single person on the earth who can say that Joshua Aaron Hunter, answered my prayer? Is there anyone who can say that? Okay then. Okay. So I'm just saying, sometimes you get a better answer when you don't ask, is what I'm saying. Okay, sometimes I did this for a long time. I just kept on asking and asking. I'm like, oh God, how do I do this? How do I solve this? How do I, make more money? How do I be safer? How do I have a better, life, more enjoyable life? And, eventually the answer came to me was, well, I've already given you so much, and still you're asking me for more. I'm not saying this answer came to me. I'm not saying like I heard a voice or something. It's literally, my logic. The logic was, well, wait a minute. Don't I have all of the skills and tools necessary to resolve all this within myself? So I don't know if these guys are able to speak. I don't know if these gods are like so powerful, but the cost of their power, the cost of their eternal life, and their status of deity is their voice, their ability to speak directly to mankind or anyone. So I am going to take a guess here that maybe these guys are perhaps a little tired, or they would rather not be constantly, they don't want to be genies or something. So I want to take this opportunity to, if I'm not mistaken, speak up for them and say, hey, why don't you just leave these fucking guys alone and just, handle it yourself. Just, take the opportunity to give God a break. Okay, does anybody care about how God feels? Like, in all these religions and all these things, no one is ever saying, hey, maybe we should just, like, fucking leave God alone and, like, let God, like, fucking take a nap or something. Why do you think he put on the 7th day that he rested? He's fucking tired. It's a lot of work. So I want you to be considerate of God's feelings, or of the feelings of the gods. I want you to the gods, they're just like us, you know. And I want you to not just assume that because they can, you know, produce great and wonderful miracles and, you know, fantastic, you know, events and gifts that transcend what you are used to or accustomed to, that somehow that means that they don't like to like take a rest and just like fucking hang out, you know. You think gods don't don't anyway, what, come on. Oh, okay. So yeah, and also I would like to give a name to the person or the being or beings who are the landlord or landlords of Earth, meaning I don't know. I don't know if there's such a thing as God. I know I just said all this stuff, but I'm just saying I don't know if there's such a thing of God. I know there. To me, I guess God would be the sum total of conscious beings' perception of all things in reality. So to me, God, that's what God is. But on the off chance that there is some other version of that, I would like to give a name to God, or at least the God of Earth. So, I think I would like to use an acronym here. So a landlord is typically someone who makes sure that the right people stay in the right buildings, and the people and the people pay up, and that you know, that the building is kept in good shape. That is the duty of a landlord. So this is a ladybug just, I think, tried to get fresh with me or something. It's not unusual. Okay. Anyway, um, am I seeing this? Ah, okay. So I would like to name the person or being who is the landlord of Earth. I would like to name this being Loe, L-O-E, Lord of Earth, Landlord of Earth. I don't know if there is already a god who has that name, but for the purposes of this channel, my channel, Josh Hunter's channel, why does it always get so weird whenever I say my name? Anyway, Landlord of Earth. So I think if you spoke to God, or if you spoke to the God of Earth as if they were a landlord, you know, you would have certain things. That, obviously, like if your sink is broken, you need someone to fix your sink or whatever, like that type of stuff. But like stuff you wouldn't ask your landlord to go out and fucking buy your bread for you. I mean, you gotta get your own bread. So I think we should name the landlord of Earth Loe, or the God of Earth should be named Loe, L-O-E. And so next time you're thinking, oh, you know, who do I pray to? Pray to Loe. And we can just like create a god right here, and you know, I can barely see. Come on. Oh, okay. You can create a. Something's going on here. We can create a god right here, and maybe it can be of use to you. It can be like just like it can be like you know, they have like a god who's in the public domain. You know, like a commons god. You know, a common god. You know, because gods are always like so far and unaccessible. This should be like a god for the public. You know, instead of like one religion or whatever, it's just like, you know, you're just your common god, like utilities or something, like, you know, tap water god, tap water Loe, tap Loe, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so Loe, when you want to speak to the god of Earth, fuck, well, sorry if this is, oh shit, when you want to speak to the god of Earth, L-O-E, landlord of Earth, Loe. So I hope this is useful. And thank you for watching, and thank you for other things as well.